Oh, what a world. All right, I did make a couple mistakes, and I definitely want to clear those up in the Theros Beyond Death spoilers. Over the past couple weeks, one was really recent. It was yesterday I made the mistake. Now, a lot of these cards, I want to be the first, or I want to get them, I get them off the internet, and I go right into a video. So there's very little time in the editing process where I just look at the card and I'm like, cool, and then I go to the next one. So 9 times out of 10, when I first am reviewing or looking at a card, I'm just looking at it right then and there. Like that's my very first interaction with the card. So it's all Johnny on the spot kind of stuff, So mistakes can happen there. So I do apologize, but I want to correct any wrongdoings or any mistakes because I don't want people to be confused when the set drops. All right. And kudos to those who caught it. There was a decent amount of people recognized the mistake. Let's get into it. Shaul Kraken is a 5-drop Kraken. What's Kraken, Captain? Constellation. So whenever an enchantment enters a battlefield under your control, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. Yeah, I mean, that would be pretty cool, but, I mean, it's a creature. It's a 3/5. It's going to get blown up really easily, and it's 5 to bring out. It's a Kraken. Krakens haven't really done much. There is that one Kraken card where all your Krakens, Leviathans, and Serpents, and Octopus are unblockable. That's amazing, but it's not going to see any play in Standard. I highly, highly, highly doubt it, and they're only available in those Steam booster packs. This one's in every kind of pack, though. So whenever an enchantment enters a battlefield under your control, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. Pretty cool. It's a 3/5, but it's not. You're not going to see any competitive Standard play out of this card. Next, we have Haktos. This is the one card that I did butcher, and I do apologize. All right, mistakes do happen, but I'm just going to read it as if I'm doing a review of it for the very first time, and then I'll tell you where I made my mistake. So it's a 4-drop, legendary creature, human warrior. Haktos attacks each combat if able, so you have to be attacking with it as long as it's able to do so. So, like the very first turn it comes on the battlefield, it's affected by summoning sickness, or it does not have haste, so it would not be able to attack, initially. But after that turn, every turn it has to go in. As Haktos enters the battlefield, choose 2, 3, or 4 at random. Okay, Haktos has protection from each converted mana cost other than the chosen number. So what that's saying is it has protection from converted mana cost 0 and 1. A shock cannot take this out. And any converted mana cost 5 or higher. So if it's 6, 7, 8, nothing, it can't be blocked by those creatures. It can't be targeted, none of that kind of stuff can happen. So as it enters the battlefield, you choose a number. Let's say the number ends up being 3. It has protection from converted mana cost other than the chosen number. So 3 would be the number. Well, only spells with converted mana cost in it, 3, can target Haktos. That is pretty ridiculous. When you think about it, some decks, let's say 4 is a number at random. What if you're going to get the burn deck? Now, I know Torbjorn's in the gameplay now, or in Standard right now, and he's a 4-drop, but there's going to be a lot of cases where a lot of your burn decks don't run, many 4-drop spells that can deal with this thing, and it's that simple. So this is a very interesting card to keep an eye on, but also the downside, it has protection from those, from all these converted mana costs. That means something like your Embercleave. You cannot target your Haktos with an Embercleave because it has protection from it. At least I believe that's how it works. If I'm wrong on that one, let me hear about it. But that makes it so really, yeah, you can't beef this thing up really easily. That's like one of its downfalls. If I'm not mistaken, if I am mistaken on that, please, again, let me know. But that would make sense, because if you're able to target an Embercleave with this thing, that's nuts in Standard. Think of how ridiculous that would be. Well, here's a card, it dropped, let's say you got your one god out, this thing has haste, or this thing has haste regardless. It swings in, your opponent can't deal with it. You got to Embercleave the next turn, you lay it down, that's game over. That's game over that quick. There's just no way to deal with it. And I don't think Wizards would do that to us. So, yeah. But yeah, there's the correction. Haktos, hats off to you. So, wow. Very busted card, if you ask me. It's a merit chosen from Death. 2 different arts on it. Chosen from Death. It's a 2-drop, 2 black mana. Legendary enchantment creature, Demigod. Demigod's a new card type. And I love the artwork on this thing. I really do. I think I get the whole Constellation artwork over here, but I like the artwork on this better than that. I definitely do. It looks sweet. Its toughness is equal to your devotion to black. All right, so if you just had this one card out, he would be a 2/2, you know. For Deuce, exile up to 2 target cards from graveyards. You gain 1 life for each creature card exiled this way. There's going to be so many cards in exile. Kaya Orzhov Usurper is going to be a planeswalker to keep an eye on. The current price of that's like $4.50, but man, that thing's going to be busted. Or maybe not busted, but comes in really handy. Because for as many creatures, its ultimate, it's -5. You can get to its ultimate after 2 turns, or if you find a way to, throw more loyalty counters on it. Its ultimate is for as many creatures, or as many cards as your opponent has in exile, you're going to deal X damage and also gain X life. So if they have 10 cards in exile, you're dealing 10 damage to them, and you're gaining 10 life. It's pretty ridiculous, you know. So definitely a card to keep an eye on. This card, though, really interesting. Yeah, I can get its toughness way up there, but cool. I mean, that's cool and all. And the good thing is, I guess it can exile up to 2 target cards, and it's not just... in this standard, it's going to be... It'll matter in this standard, because it's not just, a creature card or an enchantment card. It's any kind of card. So that is pretty good. And then you gain... There's a perk if you can gain life for each creature. So not too bad. Then we have Airbus' Intervention. Here's one of these new black spells. All right. X and a black. So choose one. Target creature gets -X till end of turn. You gain X life. That's pretty good. Yeah, you can basically take out any creature you want. And it's getting -X. So keep that in mind. It's not just destroying a creature, okay? When you see -X, this can take out indestructible creatures. So if they have one of their gods out, which we're going to recap the gods here in a minute, and let's say its toughness is 5, you pay a total of 6. X is 5 plus the 1 black mana. You are going to put the it gets -X. It dies. Bye-bye. It is gone. Indestructible doesn't matter. It negates the whole indestructible thing. Whoops, it doesn't matter. And you gain X life. It's pretty huge. And then exile up to twice X target cards from graveyards. You can choose one or the other. I'm sure a lot of times you're going to probably want to go with the top portion, but this is a pretty powerful card, man, without a doubt. That removal on there is amazing, and it deals with the indestructible stuff. So, yeah, definitely a card to keep an eye on. I do like it. Powerful House. Powerful House. That's right. Memory Drain and Mirror's Grasp. Enchanted creature gets -3/-3. Okay. And then the Memory Drain counter target spell. Scry 2. Pretty basic stuff there. Then we have Inevitable End. Another card I totally messed up. I don't know how I messed this up. For the love of God, I have no idea how I messed this one up. But I did. Inevitable End is a 3-drop. Enchant creature. Enchanted creature has, at the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice a creature. Now, I totally I don't know how I make these mistakes sometimes. I think it's because I'm in a rush. Enchanted creature has. So that means whatever you're enchanting this with, that creature then owns this ability. At the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice a creature. So that means if you're to target your opponent's creature with this thing, or you enchant your opponent's creature with this thing, at the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice a creature. That means that player is now affected by that. So they have to sacrifice a creature. Where I said something ridiculous, like, oh yeah, well, now you own that enchantment, so it's still affected. Don't worry, whatever I said there, shenanigans, foolish, okay? I was just going through it way too quick. So yeah, your opponent would then have to sacrifice a creature at the beginning of their upkeep. Big time stuff there. Not a bad card, and you put this on their most... their most powerful card. That's what you'd want to most likely do. Their most powerful creature card. Because then they just start sacking everything around it. They can't just... If they want to sack that creature, fine, go ahead and sack it. But if that's their best creature, they might want to keep it on the battlefield a little while longer. So keep that in mind. All right. Kalafi, Beloved of the Sea. 3-drop, legendary enchantment creature demigod. These demigods are all right, but man, I think I was more excited about this new demigod thing, and I think they're a little underwhelming. But his power is equal to Devotion to Blue. That's legit. So you can, in blue, you can't really do a whole lot. Maybe get some unblockable stuff on it. You have limited amounts of unblockable spells where you can hook this thing up with, in standard right now at least. But creatures and enchantments you control have spells your opponents cast that target this permanent cost 1 more to cast. That's all right. I mean, it's a cool little ability there, but I mean, this thing's just going to get taken out right away. So I don't know. I don't see. There's some demigods that are all right. Even that last one we reviewed. I mean, it's kind of like, it just seems underwhelming. All this seems very underwhelming. Maybe in the current standard, it's going to have its place, and we still have some more cards that are going to flop out at us. You know, we'll see. But as for right now, this card, it's one of those. It's for me. Here's something interesting. One with the stars. All right, so here's the official Theros Beyond Death spoiler of one with the stars. So 4-drop enchant creature or enchantment. Enchanted permanent is an enchantment and loses all other card types. It still has its abilities, but it's no longer a creature. Interesting. So the text, would still apply, but it has no power, has no toughness. It just goes away. Very interesting stuff there. I believe. Yeah, loses all other card types. So if it's no longer a creature, I can't see it being able to attack or do anything. Moving along, though, I want to point this out because Enchantmentize is a card that was printed in for those mystery booster packs, and this is a test print. So the test prints, some of these cards are actually seeing play. They're actually being printed. Something to think about, because we saw some ridiculous sliver, a sliver Eldrazi. I would love for that thing to be printed, but yeah, the right set, has to come out for that thing to hit. But if they're going to print slivers again in standard, wow, I'm just throwing it out there. Very exciting time if they do. Then we have Banishing Light. When Banishing Light enters the battlefield, exile target non-land permanent and opponent controls until Banishing Light leaves the battlefield. Great budget removal card, I'll tell you that. I used it in a few budget decks back in the day. It is a reprint, but that is amazing. A lot of exile stuff going on here. Perforus's Intervention. We have, for X and 1 red mana, choose one, create an X1 red elemental creature token with trample and haste. Sacrifice at the beginning of the next end step. That's pretty sweet. And then, Intervention deals twice X damage to target creature planeswalker. That's a lot. Perforus's Intervention deals twice X damage to target creature or planeswalker. So great removal there. If it said player, this thing would be busted because that'd be cheating. Okay, but it's creature or planeswalker. So pretty cool. Definitely a strong removal spell. It's going to see a lot of play. It is sorcery speed, though. It is sorcery speed. That is a bit of a downside. I couldn't imagine this as an instant where you can immediately go into combat phase. I'm attacking, boom, and then right there your elemental hits. It'd be nuts. But very, very strong card. Sorcery, it might choke it up a little bit to see too much play elsewhere, but as far as I'm concerned, it looks like it's going to be very impactful in the current standard. All right, here's the rest of the gods. They're all out now. I just want to review them one more last time. In my opinion, I would have to say, out of these three, well, there's 5 in total here. We have all of them, okay? I like this one a lot because of the haste on it. I think this is going to be one of the more impactful ones. It is a 5-drop, though. But also, the Sun Crowned, I mean, that's just amazing. It's the best god because of the combo that goes with it. With the Walking Ballista, you go infinite, by turn 4, which that is just insane, all right? So the best card, I think the best god, just based on that right there alone, with the most win cons, is probably this one. But I like this because it has a blink effect. That's really strong as well. This one, I think, is a little bit underwhelming. Just a little bit. I think it's a little bit underwhelming. I would have liked to see more out of it. The good news is it's only a 4-drop. They could have made it a 3-drop, honestly. They really could have. It's a good card, don't get me wrong, and it's going to fit. It fits in Black strategies and what Black wants to do, so it's not like it's terrible. I'm not saying that. And then Nelia Keen-Eyed, that one's not too bad either. All indestructible, really neat. Creature spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. For 3, reveal the top card of your library. If it's a creature card, that's not bad. You may put it into your hand. Otherwise, you may put it into your graveyard. The right deck, I think this is the least valued card right now, currently, and I know that on TCG Player, I believe this is going for over $20. So, but that's because of the combo, really, the synergy outside of standard, not so much in standard. We'll see what happens, though. All very exciting, all very cool gods. Which one's your favorite? I like Heliod right now the most. I think I'm just a sucker for good stuff. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that concludes it. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Sorry it's a shorter video, but there wasn't a whole lot to talk about today besides me correcting some mistakes that I made. But check out the other videos. If you haven't already seen all the other spoilers, I mean, there's over 100 cards spoiled now. Just go back and check them out. They're all over. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Skadoosh.